So I'll ask that you just allow yourself to settle into your chair and breathe. And see if you can begin by letting your attention come to all the activities that brought you here this morning. And so I'd like you to notice, as if you could watch it on a movie, watch yourself getting up this morning, preparing yourself to leave. And maybe you would notice some busyness that you had, thinking about what was coming. And so just breathe and take a moment and let yourself notice that sort of buzz of activity, as if you could feel it in your own skin. Sort of physical buzz all of that movement and activity imparts on your body. And breathe and just notice where you feel that in your body. And then begin to let your attention follow you through your activities that brought you here. And let yourself notice little places along the way as you found your way to the building and up into the room. Taking little stops along the way to notice the things that you saw. And the preparation to get yourself seated in these chairs. And settling in and preparing to do this piece of work. See if you can notice any sort of nervousness or anticipation. And let yourself just breathe that in and out. And see if you can locate where you feel that in your body. And allow your breath to just permeate that sensation, to just flow through it. Begin to notice what it is like to sit right here in this very chair, in this very moment. And breathe gently, gently. And let your awareness come to rest on your breath. And take just a moment to notice the tiny sensations that come with the inflow and outflow of each breath. See if you can notice tiny differences in sensation between the inflow, cool, and the outflow, warm. And just take a moment to appreciate your own breath, that through all those activities this morning, your own breath that was there, waiting for you. And let each breath invite you into this very moment. Let each breath invite you to notice your own body, your own person sitting right here, right now. And if you find yourself getting ahead, just gently, gently come back to the sound of my voice. Let your breath invite you back into this moment. And then follow the next instruction that I ask of you. And breathe. And I'd like you to imagine now that in front of you there was a file cabinet, and before you reach for it or open it, I would ask that you call to mind a client that you have worried about, a client that maybe you have wondered whether you could help them. Perhaps a client that you go home on weekends and you wonder, is this one more weekend that they spend in isolation? Will you even see them next week? Will they give up? Will they give up on you? On themselves? And just let yourself breathe that in and out for a moment. And I would like you to let that file cabinet before you fill with photographs of that client. And I'd like you to imagine that you reach out where your hand just barely touches the handle of that file drawer, and let yourself feel it in your fingertips, as if they were just barely touching the drawer. And breathe, and let yourself know what is in that drawer, and gently, gently draw the drawer open and allow yourself to hear the sound of that drawer and that slide open. And breathe. And imagine that you could reach in towards the front of the drawer and place your fingertips on a photograph. And I'll ask you to imagine that you draw that photograph up and out of the file drawer. Listen to the sound of it as you draw it out. And then allow it to come to rest in your lap. And let your eyes begin to move across that image. And I'll ask you to let yourself see, let an image form there of your client as they are right now. Could be a picture of them someplace in their life or in your office. And let yourself see in that picture the way that client holds their body. Is there tension in their body? Are they closed off? Or do they look in some way that people might walk by them and not even notice the sort of suffering that they have? But I'll ask that you let yourself see that. So let your eyes linger on that client's face and see if you can see in that face, in those eyes, that person, and see that struggle that others may not see, but that you know about. And just take a moment and let yourself just breathe that struggle in and out. You can hear the echoes of it maybe from the sessions you've had. They've begged you for answers. And see if you can see that longing in that face. What is it that they hope for in their life, if they were capable of hoping? What do they long for? Can you let yourself see that? And I want you to begin to notice how much you want to be able to reach in there and help them. To reach in and make a difference for them. And let yourself just breathe your own longing in and out like air. And I'll ask you, beg you, to let it be so that no matter what you do, no matter how hard you try, that helping them is beyond your grasp. Like someone falling down a stairs who's just out of reach. Where you reach out towards them to stop that tumble, but that you can't quite reach far enough. You know, as if when they began to fall, you could see that look in their eyes reaching out towards you. And knowing that there was no reach quite far enough. And just linger at that cusp right there. Let yourself look into those eyes that have that longing. And don't turn away. Just let yourself rest there for a moment. And breathe that longing, their longing and your longing in and out. And breathe. And take one last look at that face. And allow that picture to be lifted from your lap. And one last look and let it drop gently, gently into the drawer. And then I want you to just rest a moment And let what you just saw gather up around you. Let yourself breathe in and out your own powerlessness. Maybe your own insecurities about whether you could make a difference. And then I'll ask you to reach in again, and I'll ask that you pull a photo out that is 10 years from this day. And if you're afraid this client is going to die, I want you to let them still be alive. And so if they are someone who wants to die now, let it be that that wanting to die just stretches out for 10 more years, and they carry that weight. And draw that photograph of them out of the file drawer, and let yourself see in that photo, as you carry it gently to your lap, what that face looks like after 10 more years of paying that cost. No one wants to look at them, but would you? Let me invite you to just breathe them in and out. Let yourself see what 10 more years looks like written on that face. Linger on those eyes for a moment. Let your awareness stretch out into their lives and see all the costs that they've paid over those 10 years. Are there children lost to them? Partners? How many nights and days have they spent alone? Let yourself see in those eyes that person that hoped something could be different. But maybe knew that it would go just like this. And let yourself imagine that it is as if you could reach out towards them to stop that tumble, but that no matter how far you reached, no matter how hard you tried, you couldn't prevent that tumble down. And breathe gently. And if you notice yourself wanting to turn away, just gently turn back and let yourself look into those eyes and see those costs written. And breathe. And I would like you to just imagine now that you take one last look at that image and let it slip gently. See if you can notice that you almost don't want to let them go, but I'll ask that you do let them go and let them slip back into the file drawer. And let yourself feel the weight of those 10 years of costs. And breathe. And now I'm going to ask you to reach far, far back into the file cabinet. And I'm going to ask you to pull a photograph from the back of that cabinet that shows that client on the very last day of their life. In the last hour. Let yourself draw that photo gently up and bring it to your lap and cradle it there. See if you can hold that photo as if it is on the most fragile sort of paper. And let yourself look down into that face that has known a lifetime of costs. Let yourself see that person as they take that last hour to look back over their own life at the things that they had hoped for. There it is in their face. How many days have they paid that price? See if you can remember back to when you had hoped to reach in there and how much you had wanted to make a difference for them. And let it be so that no matter what you did, no matter what you said, that they slipped away and found themselves on that last day how empty is that life? How painful? And how is it written in those eyes? And I'll ask that you honor them by being present to them in their last hour. Just let that last hour saturate you, so that when they pass, someone will have known. Someone will have known. Someone will have cared to know. Would you be their witness? So that when they pass, someone knew. And breathe, breathe. And as you breathe, just see if it's possible for you to say yes to that suffering. To just allow it to be there and to, for just a moment, to let go of the struggle with that. To just let it saturate you. And now I'll ask you to take that photo and with the most gentleness you can bring to it, take one last look at it. Let yourself look one last time in those eyes so that someone saw them, and let it slip gently, gently back into the drawer. And place your hand on that drawer. And let yourself notice that sound as the drawer goes gently closed. comes to stop. And I'll ask that you just take a moment to just breathe in and out what you saw. See if you can let go of any struggle with that for a moment. I'm going to ask you in a moment to open your eyes. And when I do, I'm going to ask that you listen to my coaching. And what I would like you to do is, don't explain the concern you have, but just let it be expressed. As gentle as water pouring from a jar. So if you find yourself trying to get it right or make sure the other person understands, I want you to honor that person you witnessed by just gently coming back to giving expression to that concern that you carry and to that decline that you saw. Let yourself be the voice for that. And so I'm going to give you just a moment to just linger and be saturated by what you witnessed. And then in a moment, I will open your eyes. So now I'll ask you to just sit with it. To just sit with it and imagine that all that you saw there, that younger them, that older them on the last days of their life, that just begins to fill you up like water. Let what you witness just fill you like a liquid. And I'm going to ask you now to let your eyes come gently open. And before you begin to speak, I want you to look at the human being who's sitting across from you there. And see if you can't see in those eyes someone who has witnessed a cost. And so when you're ready, just let that cost just fill you up like liquid. And when you're ready, let it just pour from you with no effort. So when you're ready, let him hear, see, and feel what you heard, saw, and felt.
Feel the weight. I feel like I'm so heavy all the way to the core of the earth, right down here. And I was terrified to do this.
Slow, slow.
It was very... It's so hard to be this person. No, I care about her. touches me, and I just wanted to take away all her problems and pain at every crisis. I tried to tell her what she should do, and I was aware sitting here that it was all about me. And how, whether I was doing it right or not. And then this picture of her, there was this little joy in her eyes. And that's what I don't want to let go. It's the joy, this pleasure in all the midst of everything. The one thing that is so hard to let go was she shared a moment of a secret pleasure she had, a wish she had.
I'll ask you to just let the words drop away. Stay with Matt. And see if you can let the expression continue. Even without the words. Let it be as if that expression could just pour forth from you. So that Matt could see it even without the words. See if you can let go of getting it right and honor her in this moment. And just let that cost of seeing that joy slip away fill you up. And when you're ready, I'll ask that you slow your pace of speech and just gently speak and let yourself hear each word. Breathe.
And there was this moment when she told me she wants to make hats. Hats for people that have cancer. And she saved scraps, colors, light purple. Light purple. Felt. And a little pink puffy thing she had. Special things. She kept them secret. Pink. Soft. That was a gift she gave me. Let me feel like I had something with her. It was a gift.
And just gently let the words drop away one more time and stay with Matt. And see if you can just breathe in and out what it is like to see this woman with those gifts pass with that gift ungiven. Can you just for a moment let yourself breathe that in and out? Matt, see as you look into Ellen's eyes, see if you can't see that woman reflected in there who had that gift that went ungiven. And gently, gently let your eyes go closed again. And Ellen, just sit for a moment and let yourself just be saturated by that. And Matt, see if you can just recall
that face that you saw on that last day. And if you're getting ahead, just see if you can just gently let go of getting ahead and honor that client by having your witnessing of him, her, be the center of your awareness. Let yourself see those eyes, maybe that no one else saw. What does it mean, them passing away? Gentle, Matt, just breathe it in and out. I want to beg you to not compose yourself. Just take this minute to just let go of composure for a moment. And when you're ready, just let it be as if all those costs, the things that that person might have had or might have offered that went unfulfilled, just let those things fill you and fill you. Let the look in those eyes on that last day fill you and fill you. And gently let your eyes come open. And before you begin to speak, see if those costs that you saw could begin to pour from your own eyes so that Ellen could look into your eyes and see those costs even before she knows a single word. And let them fill you until that place comes where they just pour from you without effort. Gently, gently. What did you see, Matt? What did you see?
She never got what she wanted. It's a whole life. Whole life spent on that. Whole life being stuck. It's like being in that dark place you never get out of. You know, just waiting for someone else or something to help you. I see my client just never getting what she wanted most, because she was stuck on. She was too afraid. She was too afraid for her whole life.
Let yourself just drop into silence for a minute, Matt. And I want you to picture her alone and afraid. And if you could give her a hand that led her towards something that she longed for. Can you just sit inside this question? What was it that she longed for? What would it have meant to her if someone could have reached into that darkness? If you could have reached into that darkness, just the touch of a hand, what would that have meant to her? What is the look on that face? Just let it fill you gently, and let us see what you saw in that last day, Matt.
She just wants to be loved for who she is.
Stay with that. She just wanted to be loved for who she is. Just let it come.
She just wanted to be loved. Just like the rest of us. She got stuck. She got stuck because she couldn't find that love.
A moment and let the words drop away, and see if you can let Ellen see in and see you, who and how you long to be the person who could open that door for her. Ellen, see if you can look in those eyes of Matt's and see how much it would have meant to him to be an agent of that, to be an instrument. And gently, gently let your eyes go closed again. And just take a moment to just breathe in and out what you witnessed, the clients that you saw, and the therapist that you saw across from you. And see if you can just hold all that in kindness for just a moment, to just pause with it, to honor it with a moment of your awareness, to breathe it in and out and carry it. Could you, would you carry it forward? And I'll ask that you gently, gently open your eyes again and acknowledge the human being who is sitting across from you.